Hi everyone, Sean from Cross RC. Yes, it's been a while. I apologize. We have been pretty busy at the store, pretty busy with the website. So, speaking of that, I hope you all have checked out the website recently. Noticed some of the updates and changes. Specifically, free shipping is back, so yay! And also, if you've paid attention to pricing, there are a lot of trucks that are now kits specifically that are sale priced. So ready to runs too, I think. But you'll see price changes. So sale prices on a lot of the kits, like the XT4, the JT4s. So hopefully you paid attention to that. Couple things here, real quick. Shout out to John from Mission Models. He pointed out something that I kind of took for granted that people knew about, looking at the way the website was written, and apparently they don't. So when you search for something on Cross, if you type in XT4 search, you're going to get one or two things, and that's about it. Sorry, that's the way the web page is written. If you type in XT-4, you'll get everything, the kits and all the parts, because we did list all the parts. I shouldn't say we. I listed all the parts last week. So all the replacement parts that we have in stock for the XT4 and some new ones for the JT4 are now listed on the website. That will show up when you do XT-4, but it shows up for everything that way. So for you guys that have demons, if you do SG-4 or SR-4 or KR-4, all the parts will show up if you use the hyphen. If you don't, you may not get all the search results you want to, and it just so happens that when the web page was first designed, the webmaster who designed it put everything in with the hyphen. I, for the longest time, didn't pay attention to that, so when I made up a new product listing, I was like, oh, here is this new part, JT4, bumper, blah, 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 and then it doesn't show up in anybody's search results, and we couldn't figure out why for the longest time. Now we know. It's because if we don't put the hyphen in there. What? Long story short. Something else new that I've been kind of excited to show you guys, because I've known it's been coming down the pipeline for a while, and if you look at the website today, you'll see it, has kind of an interesting backstory to it. Now, I know because this is crawlers, everybody's been out crawling, right? It's fun. In fact, I actually just got one of the other guys and his girlfriend to go with me last Sunday to go crawling. She had never done it before. He had never done it before. I'm being attacked by the cat. He got so excited about it and liked it so much, he actually went out and bought one almost the very next day. And we're possibly going out again this coming Sunday to go to a different location and crawl. But I know we've all been there. We've all been driving down the trail and someone says, hey man, there's something hanging out behind your truck. And everybody stops and, oh, no, stick, weeds, whatever it is dragging at the back of your truck. You're like, oh, sorry, got that. No free rides. Now, when someone says, hey man, there's something hanging at the back of your truck, you can say, yep, that's my third axle. I'm proud to introduce the XT6, or, sorry, what is this? AT6. Which is weird because it's an AT variant, 6-wheel drive, but if you look at the body, it's VR styling. It's a VR style body on a 6-wheel drive chassis. And there's some really neat things about the way this chassis is laid out that I'm going to show you. The pictures, if you look at it online, will also show you this. I think I got 20, a little over 20 pictures on the Ready to Run listing. Again, these are live today. What was the... Okay, so if you want the Ready to Run version, right now the only color we have in stock is the blue. The Ready to Run version is going to be $569. There is a kit version that comes with a clear body. Those are for $69. Full LEDs, so you have tail lights, there's a light controller here, there's actually also one mounted on the chassis that this plugs into. You have full headlights and halos. You also have a light bar in the grille, a light bar above the windshield, and another light bar in the back of the cage, along with your traction ladders. But the chassis is a really neat thing. This neat support in the center to support the body in the event of a rollover, that's pretty slick. But you'll recognize it, it's very AT6 slash, or AT6, this is AT4 slash JT4-ish looking, along with, you know, the new XT4 chassis. So a lot of the same components, same chassis layout, where battery tray in the middle, front motor, steering servo, way back here shift servo, and yes, each one of these axles is lockable and unlockable. But what I wanted to show you was, in the rear, they kind of did a couple of things some think would say cheap, but it's actually really strong. What they did is they sandwiched a new brace, which is actually the one right here, where the upper links for the rear axle attached to the chassis. That brace and that piece across there actually ties the entire back together, along with sandwiching an extension that runs all the way up to the back. So that makes for an inexpensive unit because you don't have to press out a whole new channel, but it is strong. I mean, there's some flex in the chassis, but there's flex in every chassis like this, especially when they get this long. But the neat thing is the way they did the rear axle drive. So if you look at the axles, they are exactly the same setup. And if you've ever looked at anything cross RC, you know that all the differentials, or not differentials, sorry, all the transfer cases for them have two outputs on each side. There's an input that typically is used on one side from the transmission, but then there's, next to that, another drive that is used to drive the front axle, and then one to use to drive the rear axle. Well, because there's two on the cross transfer cases, they just made a second drive shaft come out the other side, runs over a mount on top of the front axle, and goes all the way back here to the rear axle. So it has its own drive shaft dedicated from the transfer case. And I think that's kind of a neat idea, because if you look at the way some other brands have done it, not dragging anybody into the weeds, but if you get into a high torque situation, this axle typically wants to pinion up, this one wants to pinion down. You put a lot of stress on the drive shaft, possibly pulling it apart or breaking it or something like that. You can't do that with this one because each rear axle has its own dedicated drive off the transfer case. So I think it's pretty slick. And again, yes, all still lockable, all the same basic real heavy duty steel hardware and steel links that you get in any of the cross kits. I do also like the fact that they give you a little bit of a skid plate back here, or actually no, I'm sorry, not skid plate, this, what do they call this thing? The truss plate from the factory on this one, whereas like on the other trucks, like the JT4, it's an optional accessory, I believe, on the JT4. They didn't put it on both axles and they didn't put it on the rear, but at least, or I'm sorry, the front, but at least the rear axle has it. And new style bumpers, so those are kind of nice. Almost similar to the JT4 bumper, but without the hoop. And this will kill you guys. I don't know if you remember or not, but a while ago I had a little contest where I said, tell me, ow, tell me his name, the cat's name, Xoar, and you win a free set of wheels, because it was a set of wheels that Cross sent us on a truck, and I wasn't going to use black wheels. Well, this truck actually has those wheels. So these are all beadlock wheels, really neat black design. They are plastic, but it keeps costs down. Just a few of the features that I kind of wanted to show you guys. But what do you think? The AT6. And it's got bit. What do you guys think? It's a neat new truck from Cross. we're kind of excited to release it again. Kits and ready to runs are both available on the website. I am going to take my favorite hot drink here and go snuggle with the cat if you'll have me. In the meantime, you guys have a great night. If you have any questions, let me know down below, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you.